Welcome to the Hot Lava Podcast. Kevin Acee, Padres beat writer for the Union-Tribune. Ryan Finley, sports editor for the Union-Tribune. Padres Mariners, it's the rivalry. Padres won a game last night, so they'll lose tonight, and then they'll win tomorrow, and it'll go on like that in perpetuity. No, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of going to the ballpark tonight is you go, will this be the night? Now, of course, they have won 2 in a row. It's been a week. They've not won more than 2 in a row since May 1st, I think, was when they won a third in a row. Well, Brian, lots to talk about, as there always is with this team. Where do you want to start?
Sure. Not to correct you, they have not won 2 in a row. They lost Sunday.
No, I'm sorry. I've only been up for about 22 minutes, but I'm pretty sure what I said was they have not won 2 in a row.
Oh, not won 2 in a row. No, that's true. And that's what we're going to, yes. And that's the thing that they have to figure out. And, for our listeners, if you'd like to stress yourself out, cause some serious gastrointestinal problems on a Tuesday, do the math and figure out what the Padres will have to do between now and the end of the season to finish with the projected number of wins that most people had for them. And that would be win 2/3 of their games. And for a team that can't win 2 in a row, it's hard to win 2/3 of your games when you can't win 2 in a row. So, so we'll see. Luckily,
to get even to what were they projected at, like 93.5 or something? If we're talking about like Vegas or 92 or something like that, fan graphs, and just to get to like the minimum it'll probably take to get to the playoffs, they've got to play like 15 over 500 for the rest of the way. So, you're talking about like 23 over 500, which, okay, that's what they should be doing, but we've scrapped, right? We've thrown out what the Padres should be doing.
Right. Well, and you had a great line in your Padres Daily newsletter, I believe, the other day, where it's about time that we stop talking about using the word disappointing and using a shorter word, which is bad, which is at some point you cease to disappoint if you're just playing badly. You can't disappoint people if the expectations are low. That said, Kevin, I was sitting next to you last night at Petco Park. We saw what I would interpret as some very good signs in a 5-0 win over a very bad Cubs team. Manny Machado made, again, one of his patented incredible defensive highlight reel plays. Had 3 hits. It seems to be seeing the ball better. Smoked one opposite field to the right center field gap. Appeared to look more like the Manny Machado who can get on a heater at any minute and be the best player in baseball for long stretches. Blake Snell, who knows a thing or two about getting hot and being streaky, 6 shutout last night.
Looks starting in a row.
For second start in a row. Looks like a playoff caliber pitcher. Looks like a top of the rotation pitcher. Kevin, is this a sign that things are changing, or is this just 2 good performances on one night?
The easy thing would be to say no. I know, but I just to give the perspective. Yeah, you know what? There's 102 games left. There is plenty of time for them to get hot. Yes, time is running out. But yes, really good sign from Manny Machado because now look, the first single was flared, but the next 2 were smoked, 1 to left, 1 to right center, as you said. They all count the same. But to see him hit the ball like that was big. See him not chase was big. He's had 3 hit games before this season, but we weren't entirely sure he was healthy with the back early. We may never know. I'm not going to blame it on the back. He insisted and others insisted it wasn't a problem. Then you have the hand thing. So now he's out of this and he comes out and he has that night and he hit some balls hard in the first few games. I just think that, yes, that was a big sign. Yes. They still didn't get hits with runners in scoring position, but it's like, the way they did it, Juan Soto and Fernando Tatis Jr. were both 0 for 4, right? Jake Cronenworth had a big hit and a big walk that, look, 5th run, it didn't matter, but it was big. Josh Hader sits down. They're up by 5 going in the 9th. I mean, it was big. Gary Sanchez comes up big. Brandon Dixon had a big hit. Brandon Dixon, we can talk about that later. Played it right. I think it was good. That said, tonight is just such an interesting game because this pattern has got to stop.
Well, it sounds so silly, and Kevin, we've said this before, to say that a Tuesday night game against the Mariners in June is a big game, but it kind of is. I mean, you're looking for signs that this is more than just one good night, one bad night, one good pitching performance, one bad pitching performance, one 3-for-4 night, followed by an 0-for-3 night, right? Like you're looking for momentum in a sport where I think momentum is really hard to capture.
Absolutely. It is. Like, I mean, the reality is, and we both have a friend who doesn't believe in momentum in a very passionate way, the same way he doesn't believe that any umpires are any good.
Really good
Players believe
podcaster,
in
that guy.
momentum.
Yes, really good podcaster.
Players believe in momentum. You can feel good about yourself, and that can translate to the field. And the Padres haven't, right? And it hasn't, that good feeling.
Sure.
That's what they're searching for. And I do think that has a lot to do with it. We're all looking for this one reason. It's Trent Grisham's fault. It's Austin Nola's fault. It's the hitting coach's fault. But like, there's a lot of reasons, and one of them is that the Padres can't they can't feel good. They don't feel good about themselves offensively. If you're watching this live, I'm pretty sure that I've lost Ryan, or else maybe it's me who has been lost, and I am the only guy on this podcast right now. I'm not entirely sure, but I'm assuming that we're gonna fix this very soon. If John Kelly could know, I'm not, is my message from John Kelly. Like, I'm not on the broadcast. Is that what I'm not? Or I'm not alone. Oh, okay. Well, now I think I'm alone. We will come back, and we will then, for later in the podcast, we will splice them together, and no one that is not watching will know that any of this happened.